Hey, welcome to the Virgo Channel. Now, if you're new to the channel, my name is Laura. I'm going to do a message for my winner. However, if you landed on this channel, you probably needed to hear the message. That's how spiritual energy works. We're magnets of what we need, not necessarily what we want. Sometimes it comes in a pretty package and we actually think that we're attracting what we want until we actually are in the relationship. Then we're like, this isn't what I wanted. And the reason why, again, it's because of spiritual blocks. I'm really excited to do this reading for my winner. I appreciate all my likes, shares, subscribes, and just people that watch and give me their feedback. I'm new to YouTube. Well, I mean, maybe not so new if you consider 2 years, but it takes consistency. And in the beginning, we never see anything. So, what that feels like. It's a faith walk, everything. All spiritual things make us, again, teach us about ourselves. And everything is a faith walk, which means I don't really know what I'm going to manifest here. So everything takes faith, right? That's what they say. So, anyway, like I said, I'm doing this reading for my winner. However, if you landed on the message, you can again get benefit from it because that's what shadow readings are. Shadow readings go deep. We don't just look at what goes on the surface. We look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, see how they play out as karmic themes within your experiences. This allows you to take your power back. This allows you to say, hey, this shit wasn't mine. It was actually yours. You made me feel a certain way. Why were you able to make me feel this way? Because not all the time, the people that come into our life, we're supposed to wind up married to. We always have the best intention, obviously, for the people that come into our life. No one wants to say, hey, please, toxic person, come into our life. No one does that. We all say, I was attracted to this person. I felt like I had some good chemistry with this person. I gave them a chance and they fucked me over. It's like, why did that happen? Why is it making me feel a certain way? Why do I feel like I'm the person that gave but still have the hole in my heart when that person seems to be like fine? It's again because you're not seeing things from a spiritual perspective. That person is living from their ego. Facade. No one feels good about hurting someone because they get shame. They'll justify it, they'll project it, they'll act like they don't give a shit. But understand, it makes a person feel more and more and more inadequate about themselves, which makes them not be able to have real intimate relationships, which this is, if we're going to be in a relationship, that's the type of relationship we want to be in. And that's not necessarily in the bedroom. That means I want to be able to be vulnerable around you. I want you to show up. And people that have spiritual blocks, they don't show up. And people that didn't get that growing up manifests within their life as, bad relationships and like not enough money, because unfortunately one thing begins to bleed into another, right? Again, if our life is shitty because of a relationship, well, usually you see problems in other areas of life, and it's because, again, of the imbalances. So this channel is not just about what this person's going to do. It's about, how can I shape shift the energy? How can I manifest the experience that I want? And understand, sometimes, I want to say at least 15% of the time out of 100, you're with a person that's ready to evolve. They come into your life, they're ready to evolve, they've done the work, but they still don't know shit. And they're going to trigger you. And so you have an option of whether you're going to help them to evolve, or you're going to say, no, I'm not, because you're too big of a project or whatever it is. But all the rest of the time, the rest of that 100, like I said, you're getting a person that's toxic. that is teaching you about yourself. So it's not really about, again, whether you get this person back a lot of times, because a lot of times we're like, no, this is a situation I know down deep inside that I can't, this person isn't going to do the right thing, or they can't do the right thing. We may want to give that person a chance anyway. I mean, there's a joke about running towards red flags. So just keep that in mind. And again, if you want to enter into winning free reading with me, you got to like the video, subscribe to the channel, write the word of the video in your comment bar. The word of the video is always on the first card that I pull out. Is the underlining energy that tells me why your person's doing what they're doing. Now, again, like I said, energy is fluid. Roles could be reversed. Just interpret the best way that you know how. Never force anything. And it is resentment. So again, energy of resentment when you're connected to someone that you have feelings with, because that's really what it is. If you're here, you're like, I still have feelings, but I'm like really fucking pissed. It's like, because it's like this person never shows up. They never do the right thing. If they have the opportunity to do the right thing, they don't do it. And I'm tired. I'm tired of always accepting less than I deserve. But I have feelings. So are you right or are you wrong? Well, let me tell you, it's in spirituality, it's like it's never you're right or wrong. It's you're both wrong, and you're wrong because you're expecting someone else to give you what you need. What this person is going to bring out is, again, your wound. Remember where you're limited. If you're getting a person like that, that's wounded, that has a lot of shadows. And I feel like you're connected to someone that does, because again, we don't just automatically get resentment. But why we have that? Well, we had resentment long before that person came into our life. So this is a soul's connection, and it's a divine connection. Divine doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be with this person and is going to be happy. It means it's one that spirit did bring into your life to help teach, to help you evolve. That's why you're like, I feel like this is my person, but then they do fucked up shit. It's like, that's why, again, that spiritual energy really is of unconditional love that transcends time and space. It can never be broken, that energy. It can never be destroyed or broken, manipulated. It can't, because it's the energy of God. It's the energy of the universe, which is the energy of unconditional love, which you're made up of. And so you and this person have that, but because, again, they haven't really shown up for you, and they keep, anytime they have an opportunity to fix it, they just don't. It's corroded the connection where there's now resentment. And I actually feel like your person's resentful because you're showing them that you don't need to put up with their shit. But it took you a long time to get into this energy. It took you a long time, because when you give, you really give. And so this is the energy. So again, when we have that, and this person again is resentful because you're making them look at themselves, because again, there is this unconditional love bond. So they're going to play it out. Hey, I'm doing my reading for my winner, but I hope that you resonate. So if I don't answer back, it's just because I'm in the flow, but I will answer questions after. All right, so let's see. Again, resentment. So let's take a peek and see what this person did. But understand what a person does and the hidden truth are going to be two totally different things, because you're dealing with the mask. And the mask is always a persona, and that's not real. It's there to make you feel a certain way, to think a certain way. That's what makes a person be like, what the fuck is this person doing that for? It's like acting like I did it when you're the one that did it. Having an attitude with me when you're the person that really, shame on you. And exactly, that person has shame. You just nailed you just took the head of the hammer and whatever the fuck. You know what I'm talking about. You understand what's going on. Again, savior. So again, there used to be the old you, and the old you was a wounded healer, I would say. someone that always came in was a fixer, because again, you love, you give, you treat people the way you want to be treated. And so part of this person coming into your life, I feel like brought that up because this is what this person perceived of you too. Why? Because you always gave them time. Because they actually thought you were a little naive. Because again, they're like, everybody likes me. I'm playing. You don't see that. You're not really. Because I believe that again, you were looking at this person really through like very like I'm going to treat you the way I want to be treated. And we're in it like really innocent eyes. So this person was like, oh, I'm just going to act like I'm wounded and that I can't really give anything. And I'll get you to give me. So it's again expected you to be the savior. And I feel like the old you, again, so that was a little spiritual test because the old you would have been that person that would have given, that would have done. But it's again, you learn that karmic lesson. You see how we get a few like different lessons within a lesson within that person that's coming to us. And I feel like this is another reason why this person is resentful because they're like, I had you pegged for somebody that you were not. They saw the old you. So God was actually hiding the real you from this person, I feel like. Influenced. And I feel like they feel like if you're not talking to them, you must be being influenced by other people, like because they still feel that strong connection. And they usually are able to hold out and get people to come to them to give them. I feel like this person is attractive and they use that to their advantage. So they like hold back and you know, and that's making them mad. And again, they are in denial of thinking that they even ruin the connection. Part of them thinks that they can come back at any time to get it. So this person is very like in their ego, very in their ego. Hey, Gloria and Margie. Thank you, Margie. You're a winner. You're my next winner. Email me. All right, so let's see how you were again triggered. I'm tired of the illusions. It's like I can feel one thing and then you're showing me something else. So it's again, I believe that you're someone that's very intuitive, Virgo, and it's like things don't get by you much. It's like even if you try, it's like you can't help it. Your intuition tells you one thing, and it's like you're feeling something else. They're telling you something else. So it's like you don't even know who you're dealing with. And all of it too, so they can again strategize, control. So again, and then just after a while, this is how the relationship gets corroded, because intimacy on its deepest level is trust, being able to be vulnerable, being able to like really being able to open up. And so I feel like you have this intimacy issue before this person came into your life, but it's a way that spirit really calls your attention to it. And you might say, well, how do you heal intimacy? Well, if you'll notice, the second chakra is all about your unique individuality, who you perceive that you are. It's also your balance, whether you can go with the flow. A lot of times when we get someone into our life that will trigger us, we'll want to control, and that's the worst thing that you can do. What you have to actually do is surrender. And the only way you can surrender is to have a passion. That's the same chakra, the second chakra. Your passion for life is your individuality. It's, again, to do that, to give your energy, to give and receive of love. Hey, that's the same chakra. It's the birthing center. It's to create. When you want to, again, like heal that chakra, it's to do that because it'll help you connect to people on a deeper and intimate level, which I feel like your person again doesn't have. What they do is they go from relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship, always creating the same thing, where I feel like you're someone that might get into a relationship and then maybe start something but not really continue, start, stop, start, stop. And so that would be the same energy of say, why vibrationally am I attracting this person into my life? And it's because, again, Spirit says, because you're not consistent. And that we have to, again, fight passion with another passion. Otherwise, you're trying to fight it with anger and other ways. And you can't fight evil with evil. And again, evil is of a low vibration. That's a negative vibration. So this person stays in that loop. I feel like you're the person that also, again, has these trust issues because you're like, well, I don't really understand like why this person came into my life. It's again, because that's the whole point is for you to understand karmic lessons are for you to learn so that you can evolve. Um, so again, and so I feel like the person continually projected. So what I see here right away is again the constant projection of this person and then you sticking around or coming back and always expecting like a different result. And leaving and coming back, the person doesn't know what they do. It's again, it's an unconscious behavior. They're on a low vibration. And you sticking around and giving second and third, fourth chances only makes this person believe that they can continually do this. So that's what's creating the trust. You would need for this person to actually come back and prove themselves with no aid. So again, I feel like this is why this person felt like, well, you'll help me fix it because they could feel again that sensitivity. And when you have a connection with someone, well, who doesn't want to do it? We all want to do it because it's again, well, it's going to create intimacy. It's going to create, not if the person doesn't have that, if they're wounded. It's like they actually have to give in order to heal, not receive. They need to heal. They need to give. That's why charity work. They say a person, you need to heal, go and do charity. It'll help you open up your heart. You want to connect on a deeper level and really heal intimacy issues, again, do that. It's again, because right now what we see with this person is you're like, well, it's like, how come they can stay away? Well, again, they escape. And they escape, whether that's into like talking to other people, surface relationships, which I feel like is like partial entertainment because the person doesn't really know who they are. Again, which is why they're afraid of intimacy, because then they get into a relationship, they overgive. Second chakra imbalance, doesn't have any other passion, so it's only going to be temporary because they're expecting someone else to be that passion that they're supposed to do that themselves. It's like otherwise they want a codependent relationship, and then when that doesn't work out, and in order to control it, they escape. They drink too much, or they talk to too many people, or they smoke too much weed. They kind of check out, which again is a form of avoidance. So again, that's that pain in the ass type of energy, and I'm going to tell you why, because that person can be self-righteous. But meanwhile, again, it's like you're being self-righteous, but it's like I'm looking at your life and it doesn't match the energy. And you think that I don't know? I'm intuitive. That's you, Virgo. And so then what happens is it's like in you looking for answers to actually, this is how we know that you're wounded. It's like, and then it's like, I need answers. I need answers because this person's driving me fucking crazy. It's like, I know what I'm feeling. I know what I'm feeling. So there's a sense of that you're not trusting yourself. Again, if you're becoming spirit addicted, like where it's like, I feel like I need to get readings. I feel like I need to get readings. It gives me comfort. It gives me, because I feel like I'm the crazy person. Where it's again, spirit saying, why are you allowing this person to make you feel crazy? It's like you will never survive. It's again, you have to step into your, again, strong energy in order for this person to evolve if they're going to, meaning you can't lower down your vibration and expect this person. And lowering your vibration is like, you're making me question myself. It's, again, that's how this person has you hooked. It's not really through that. It's almost like beyond, like part of you that was not accepted, that this person brings out, that you're like trying to like prove again, and then making you feel like powerless. But then meanwhile, while they act like they're powerless, so what can I do? Where it's like you're like, okay, you're the person that has full control here. You can fix the relationship. But I feel like a lot of you felt like this person didn't understand that. Again, I have such a deep connection to you. I know that you want to. Well, that's true. They do want to. But again, when a wounded person wants to, they have self-sabotaging behavior. So they do exactly the opposite of what they want. And so this is what makes you crazy, because you're like, okay, like I know what I know, but then what the fuck is this? And it's like in spirit saying, it's like what that is it's their wound. And but it's also getting people to come in and be their savior and fix it is their way of staying wounded instead of stepping up, which understand it's because it scares them. There's fear. That's when we get down to it. There's only two energies, love and fear. And that's why there's this connection between you and them, the way you're like, I know what I feel, that there's love, but I also know what I'm seeing here. It's like, and it's causing major trust issues, major intimacy issues. So this is, again, the issue. So I like to look at the hidden truth anyway, even though we're like, okay, it's a shit show, but I want to still know, what does the person really feel? It's like, and then we'll go deeper. But because it's like, again, just because a person does all this, you want to know what the intention is, the real true intention. I don't react when people mention you. Again, not emotionally intelligent. I can't show emotion because I don't know really how you're feeling. I don't know how you feel because I can know that you're mad. So if you're mad, I'm going to act like you don't exist. Stonewalling, which is really irritating, because it's like you won't accept and take responsibility. It's a lot of projecting. And then it's also like, you're just like, I feel like you guys have a spiritual connection, and what they're doing is they're like kind of like trying to squash it. But it's going to backfire, because you can't do that, because that's the energy of God. God's like, I brought this person into your life to help you heal into the highest state of consciousness, which is unconditional love, because you're me in physical form, but you're all blocked up, you're all wounded, and you get in your own way and sabotage yourself. But unconditional love makes us think, makes us do things differently. I'm becoming a better person because of you. So it's, again, I feel like they watch you on social media and they see, like, again, you're someone that's interactive in your life. I feel like this person really expects you to chase them. I feel like they really were crushed when you weren't, like, when you didn't react the way that they thought that you were going to react, because it's like they took a gamble. And so it's like, because you just, again, walked away, I feel like this is why this person is resentful, but it's also what's making this person look at their own behaviors. They wouldn't do that otherwise. They wouldn't heal. We need to let each other go. I feel like this person down deep inside is like, we need to let each other go, but I don't really feel like that's real. I feel like it's temporary, and I feel like it's because I don't know if I can be on the level that you would want. I don't know whether you'll forgive me, first of all. And that's their own guilt, and that's their own shame. Again, and that's what keeps them locked into that mindset of, I can't really be loved. I can't really be in a real relationship. So they create their self-fulfilling prophecy, because they're like, again, looking at, having to change. And I really feel that that's what scares this person. It's, again, you have to be vulnerable. You're going to have to come back in and apologize. I feel like you never got an apology for the way that they treated you. It's like that they didn't never really saw you. It's like, and now they're seeing you and they're pissed off, because what they see is, oh, well, I didn't expect it to be a good thing. It's like, when I looked at it, I didn't really look at it. I took it for granted. I took it for granted because I was talking to a lot of people, again, and not really just focused. I'm grateful for the spiritual lesson. It's again because I feel like a part of this person was like, I can't, like, I didn't think I could love. I didn't think I could care. I don't think that so it's like, it's their way of keeping a person stuck, just not wanting to fix it. It's like, because it's like prideful, like ego. That means I have to change. That means I have to take responsibility. That means I have to show vulnerability. This person's way is escaping, which means they have avoidance style. And that's, I left when I saw you with someone. So again, for some of you, this person again was like, I felt like was holding on, but assumes that you're going to be like them. So even if you're not dating someone, the fact that you're interactive in life, that you're not chasing after them, you didn't react the way that they did, they're not grounded. They're still delusional about, again, what I feel like, again, projecting a lot, thinking that you would go and talk to other people. I do think that you have a rich life, though. I think that you have friends in your life. I think that you do things in life. And this is intimidating to this person because they can't control you, they can't gaslight you. And that's really, again, resentment, because they had that persona of, again, who they wanted you to be, not really who you were. And what happened is that you make them have mud on their face because you know exactly what they were trying to do, and the fact that they misjudged you, and now that they're seeing that she's a good catch or he's a good catch. Why didn't I do that? It's like, why didn't I? And now you can't really go backwards. So again, they're like, I feel like they're that, but we're going to go even deeper, or we're going to understand what type of connection this is, why this person, because sometimes these cards come out and they're all spiritual, and sometimes it's again what this person really feels down deep inside. Expand your concept of what a twin flame is. It's more than a romance. It's a deep soul application to heal in order to embody love and light. So this is why this person hates you right now. Now I understand, because it's like, I thought you were this person. I had a big ego. You're not that person. It's like, you're making me change. I still have feelings for you. And I don't want to do this work. I don't want to do this work. It's like, I thought that you were just going to come into my life. And it's like, why am I still thinking about you? So with twin flame, there's always a runner and a chaser. Because that's why I'm saying, I know what that card said, like we have to let each other go. But it's like, no, that means that it's like you don't want to do the work. It's like, but again, you don't have any control over that. Unconditional love is what God is. And that's what you're being forced to do. That's what that person's being forced to do, to get back to a place of unconditional love. They can't control it. So again, they're mad because it's like, I shouldn't even care. Like, why do I care? Why do I feel guilty? Why do I feel? I mean, these are the things that, again, this person was arrogant. They don't want to have to look at themselves, but on some level, they do want to evolve because spirit wouldn't have brought you into their life. It's just they didn't know exactly that meant that they were going to have to do work and change and understand healing doesn't feel good, because that means, again, we have to be different. We have to be vulnerable. We have to, and like I said, this person's like, I don't have to change. Oh, yes, you do, God said. It's like, you're not down there not to evolve. You're down there to learn that you're not separate from me, from unconditional love. The parts of you that you reject, or like, again, that you don't look at, just stay broken, and it comes out in your behaviorisms, and it's toxic behavior. It's, again, my heart is with another right now. I have to finish this karmic contract in order to be free. So this person, I feel like, met you when they were actually with somebody else, and they didn't close out that connection fully. They didn't finish that. And so the problem is that what I see is that this person creates connections that are more like attachments. And then they never really end one relationship before they start another relationship. So this person came in and they were ready. And so what this problem is now, this makes a lot of sense that this person, like, it's not just that they would have to heal, it's that they would have to change their entire life. I feel like the illusions that this person creates is that they're happy and they're not happy. The illusion is that they don't care. They do care. It's that it's, again, you're making them do work. And part of that is to get out of the relationship that you're in. If you're trying to connect all the time, if you're getting your passion from other places, again, second chakra and balance, the passion, like, this person goes from person to person to person. Meanwhile, they're with somebody, they feel obligated to someone else. So they're not actually not with them, but they're obligated, whether that's financially, whether that's to help them out in some way. It's like they feel obligated. And I feel like that karmic put in a lot of time, a lot of energy. It amazes me when we say the same thing at the same time again. So this person feels like, I feel a connection to you. I feel a deep connection to you, but it's like, again, karmic contract is what I feel like your person's in right now. And part of that karmic contract is that they have to, again, be strong enough to get out of that connection by themselves and not stop looking for, like, someone to come in and fix it. It's, again, that why I said that this person tends to go from one relationship to another relationship, and they were at a very low vibe in the past relationship, and they got together with someone that's a real, like, control freak. And that's why when you met them, you were like, no, they weren't with anyone, because in their mind they're not. It's like, however, it's like I in a karmic contract where it's like, I don't love this person. I feel like I am obligated to this person. And I expected you to give to me that emotional, because we have a very strong, deep connection, again, emotional, and I don't have emotions towards anyone. And, you didn't do that. So now I have to look at my fucked up life and I have to, like, really change. And so they don't really want to do that. It's like, because of you, I'm starting to see what's really important in my life, of course, because they're not happy with that karmic. And it's like, it's one thing to never know, to never have that, connection with anyone, right? To never, it's one thing to be like, have just surface relationships and, have it stay in fantasy. But it's another thing to get so mad and be so resentful, but then still have this unconditional love for this person. This is what your person feels. And they're like, they don't understand it. They don't really know it, but they yearn for it, but they're scared of it. There's so many different emotions because it's like everything is wounded up due to, again, whatever they've experienced. So it's not about love. It's not about connection. It's about, I would need to literally change my entire life. And even though my life is a sham and I'm not happy, it's like, again, they feel like your air, the air that they breathe. I don't feel deserving, and it's affecting my levels of abundance and openness. Again, yeah, staying connected to a karmic. So again, someone that guilts, someone that manipulates, someone that plays games. This person doesn't want to go into their intuition because, again, intuition leads to the heart. So they, again, logic, analyze everything. However, it's like, it's because they feel as if, hey, Amira and Black Space, thank you all for being here. So I'm awakening. I know more than I'm letting on. Yeah, I feel like it was what's happening is that this person is so miserable because of what they're realizing is that they can't really control anything. And it's not even, oh, because of you. I don't want to say that they don't have feelings towards you. I do, but what this is really doing is that spirit brought you into this person's life to make them really look at their life, to really say, why are you connected to a person that guilts you, manipulates you? You don't know what unconditional love feels like. You're mistaken guilt for love. All right, come on, let me bring you into this is what it feels like. This is what it looks like. So it's creating a lot of like this person that like stirring up a lot of feelings that have been dormant for a really long time. But it's also like making them awaken to like how they've been living and they don't like it. So of course their first reaction is going to be resentful and want to run from you and be like, oh my god, like I don't like this. But the problem is you can never go back. It's like kind of, you know, I want to use a good enough analogy, but there really isn't one. It's like chasing the best food that you want that you've ever eaten, and now you got to go back to eating like a hot dog or whatever. You know, it's like that karmic is someone that's kind of just there. It's like where, you know, your person compartmentalizes. So it's like, meaning like I get my intimacy from these random connections. It's again, and now that's obviously not fulfilling. It's like, and talking to random people on social media is not fulfilling. See, again, they had it. And now it's again, they don't have it. And what's teaching them. Surrender brings us together faster than resistance. And what this person realizes is that they fight this a lot. And because they fight it, then you're like, well, I'm not going to cave into you. You're going to like fight it. You're going to like be resentful. You're not going to come in correct. Your life isn't fixed. Even if this person was honest with you, but they're too embarrassed to be honest with you. It's like it's again, this person would actually have to be vulnerable to be honest with you. So, which is why they're pissed off because I perceived you to be somebody else, that you were just going to like fall in love with me and be in this passionate thing and we'd have our time and that would be it. It's like, not that I would be stuck in thinking about you and you be over there having like being your happy self without me, with me sitting here holding the shit bag. This isn't that. Well, that's not the way that it was supposed to play out. This again, because now I got to look at everything. Now I have to again go back to eating the same like dried up meat love, you know, instead of, you know, my favorite dish. It's like you ruined my plan. Again, their ego is hurt. Our hearts are connected. You need to take a moment to just close your eyes and feel the connection. Yeah, this person is like, I wish you would get into your heart. It's like, I wish you would get into your heart. No, you are not in your heart. You're like in your logical, analytical mind. You're like, no fucker. I will not be vulnerable to you, what you are serving. Because I see the same old string beans on this fucking plate. And you're trying to convince me that it's a sirloin steak. It's like, it's not. Or whatever your favorite food is. Pasta. It's like, it's not that. It's the same thing. So again, this person is like, knows that they pushed you. These fell out. Let's see. When I look into your eyes, I see the universe and it activates me. I'm trying to figure out this connection. I've never experienced anything like it before. You are in your old patterns. So again, they're in their old patterns. So what happens is that they can't see it. So they're wounded. And what comes with wounds are behaviorisms. Unfortunately, that's how they play out. And they play out as, again, these karmic themes. So this person feels the connection. Again, it feels like you're air, but they're resisting it. It's again, they're trying to figure out the connection. They can't even figure out themselves. They've never even experienced a relationship like this. They're not spiritually evolved. I believe that part of the reason why you came into this person's life is to help them evolve into, you know, a little bit of a higher state of consciousness, maybe not to the ultimate supreme, but at least to a place of unconditional love, and again, they're fighting it. That's the issue. It's like, because it's, again, they have patterns, and their patterns are, I'm going to overthink this. I'm going to overthink it, and I'm going to talk myself out of it because, it's, again, there's got to be something wrong. I got to look for the problem. Got to look for the problem because there's no such thing, or it's going to hurt me. I got to see how you're going to try and get over on me. So, which, again, this is sabotaging behaviorism, because they're making it into a self-fulfilling prophecy that they can't have love, that they're going to get hurt. They're going to get hurt, man, not because you're going to do any of that, but because you're going to walk away eventually. I'm trying to leave my comfort zone with this issue. It's, again, they know that they have to change. But again, they're comfortable. Healing doesn't feel good. That's why, again, Spirit has to bring somebody into our lives that we, again, are mad crazy about and have passion for, but trigger the shit out of us. Because we wouldn't sit there and we'd say, if it's someone that you're not attracted to, that you don't have a connection to, that you just have a little connection, you're like, fuck that. I'm not going to sit there and change. That's why this person is so uncomfortable right now. Because it's like they know that they have to change. And it's like, but it's like, again, healing doesn't feel good. We have to want to, and I do believe that this person wants to, but it's like, I don't know how. Again, the overthinking. We project our patterns onto each other. I feel like this person, again, projects a lot of their fears onto you, but I do feel like you also are projecting your fears onto them, because they do that. And that's what when a twin flame or any karmic connection is going to do that, but especially in the twin flame soulmate connection, because you don't think the same way. This person's logical, analytical. It's how they navigate life. It's how they learn to survive their trauma. Where you're intuitive, you're from the heart. You don't come from the same way. Where Spirit says, well, I'm both. God says I'm both. I'm logical and analytical. Well, I'm also intuitive and sensitive and creative. I'm both. And you're supposed to be both. So it's, again, the triggering is that I feel like you should have handled it this way. Feel like you should act like this. And they're like, well, I think you should act like this. Where Spirit says neither one of you are right, because unconditional love doesn't mean that anyone controls it. And both you, again, it's triggering to both being like control. You have to come to a place of surrender. And you say, well, how do I do that? And that's through forming another passion. Again, connecting more in your own life, because it doesn't mean yes or no. When we're dealing with a soulmate twin flame, a lot of times we don't want to deal with that. It's difficult to deal with it. It's hard to deal with it. So it's to understand that they've come into our life to try and heal us. So they're, like I said, we wouldn't stick around for it. But what you see here is a lot of projections and a lot of patterns of the way that we sabotage the connection, but there's still unconditional love there. And that's why, again, it's a divine connection. I need to be strong in who I am before I can merge my energy with yours in the 3D. I'm afraid I can lose myself in this relationship. Well, of course, because look, they're still paying for somebody else. They have codependency, and what they see is that you're not codependent. You did not chase after them. You did not follow into the same karmic pattern that they go from one to another before one thing is closed. You were like, no, buck stops here. And so, again, that's why they're resentful, because, again, they're like, well, it would be better if you were here because that could help me. And you're like, well, I'm not going to be there. I'm not Mrs. Fix-It person or Mr. Fix-It person. You need to fix that. And so what it's making them see is like, I'm not a very strong person. And if I got lost in this person, that's a low vibe person, I'm definitely for sure going to lose myself in this connection, because there's a lot of passion, obviously, if I'm moving my ass to get out of this fucked up situation. But then, I still have the same problems. And Spirit says, bingo, ding, 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 ding. That's why this person actually came into your life, because Spirit says, really, before there's any relationship, it's all about me. God says, me. I'm a jealous God. That's through you, and that's through healing yourself. And you are broken. And that's why all your relationships look like that fucked up one that you're still like trying to figure out how to get out of, how to leave your comfort zone. So it's again just making this person say, like, even when I get out of this relationship, I'm still going to have to heal myself a little bit. And that's without you saying, you still need to have to heal yourself. So this person is evolving, even though you might be like, well, they're not doing anything. They're uncomfortably evolving, because it's again, they did not volunteer, but on a higher consciousness, I do believe that they wanted to, because they're not happy. Again, they didn't know the difference. They were fine with it. For so long, they numbed themselves out that they could be with anyone and it didn't matter, because they would get their needs taken care of from other people. It's like now, again, they have to change. It's again that they didn't want to have to change. I've hurt you and I'm sorry. I hope you can forgive me someday and understand I was reacting in fear. It's again, this is why this person has done that. And please don't give up on me. I'm trying to change, but it takes time. So this person, I don't see them coming towards you. What I see is that they're trying to heal themselves, that they're first trying to get out of their situation, but at the same time, they're doing a lot of introspection. So again, we know that healing is we all have our own style. I don't believe that this person's evolved and has gone to any shadow healer or anything psychic or anything like that. It's just their relationship, being in the relationship that they are in, and now being able to see the difference of a connection, even if they're not going to be with you, they know what they're in is not what they're supposed to be in, and that they could actually have a better life, that they could have love. So, which is again from the higher state of consciousness. Spirit always says we have free will to choose what we want to choose, and how this person chose to is choosing to leave. But they have to figure out a plan. They're trying to figure out the connection. They're trying to get strong within themselves, and it does take time. So we have to say, why the hell did you pull this person into your life? Because you're like, well, again, now how long do I have to wait? And Spirit says it's not about that. You shouldn't be waiting. You should, again, be creating yourself. But you should also say, if this is twin flame relationship, we know that they'll be coming back around. Their intention is they're just not. They just know that they're not. If they come back into your life, you'd be like, get the fuck out, because they're not ready. And so they're not going to sabotage the connection. They're like, I have a better chance in coming back when I'm ready and trying to like win this person over than actually to come into their life half-assed, because that's going to trigger you more. And again, so they're thinking where before they never thought. And so, or they would overthink and get in their own way about stupid stuff, where instead of controlling the relationship, it's more control yourself, heal yourself, understand yourself, so that you can again articulate. So like I said, I just feel like this person plans on coming back, but during this space and time, what are you supposed to be doing? Again, if it's a twin flame relationship, again, you won't have any control either. You might be like, fuck that, I'm not taking this person back into everything that they did. And Spirit says, yeah, that's what you think. It's again, it's this person brought out wounding in you. So you can cut your nose off to spite your face, but they would also be bringing gifts into your life also to help you evolve. Because it's not just one-sided, like, oh, well, they just come in and give me crap. No, a twin flame also helps you transmute the spiritual blocks, because guests can't get rid of negative energy. It can only be done with fire, and passion is a form of fire. Again, learning balance from a twin flame that's on one spectrum and you on another spectrum, and the way that you think, again, the only way is through compromise, and that's through birthing something. It's again through the act of doing. So Spirit says, again, you would never be able to heal Again, because the wounds are deep. They're from childhood and they form behaviorism. So we just don't just stop addictions. We have to replace that addiction with something else. We know this. So we have to say, why did you attract this person? Abandonment. These are inner child wounds. Abandonment. That doesn't mean that there weren't parents around. It could be emotionally that you didn't get what you needed. So again, this person wasn't capable of emotionally giving you what they need because emotionally they're not there, but they're getting up there. They're learning from this connection. But it would be a trigger. But it's not really about love. We're talking about the shadows. This is why we talk about the shadows. Space, the spirit says you're supposed to be using this space to create yourself, to find yourself, to love yourself. Because again, if there was feelings of abandonment, obviously we don't want to pull a person into our life to fill that space, where instead of us create that space, because we create our own strength. It's like, again, that's when we actually can forgive also, because if we were just sitting around waiting for that person, well, we'd be mad. It's again, but if we're creating with ourselves, then we're realizing that if we don't abandon ourselves, we see what unconditional love really is, that this person returns and they return differently. And you may say, no, that's hogwash, but it's not. It's like, how else would people heal and understand a person's life could look completely like shit, but people evolve, people heal. We don't do it on our own. We do it because we want to. And we do it because, again, the people that come into our life that we love unconditionally, that we feel connected to, because in the end, that's what it's all about. It's about, having that. But what makes you a better person, a healed person, is, again, to create yourself, because there was a sense of abandonment. It means that people weren't showing up for you. So maybe you weren't encouraged to go out to try different things, do things. So you didn't even know who you are. It's again, and so you would also be then looking for too much from a person. So you wouldn't understand that. It's again, if you got together with a person that actually gave, you would continually expect too much instead of the fact of creating yourself and saying, well, unconditional love comes from so many different sources. I get my emotional fulfillment not just from my lover, from my person, but I get it through the passions that I have in life, how I interact in life. And then I'm never abandoned because I never abandoned myself. I'm not never giving that power to anyone. And it makes you a better person, more rounded person. And you teach the person that you love to not be dependent either, because people learn, from each other. We pick up on each other's habits. And support, becoming your own support. Again, not having the support, feelings of abandonment. So again, not really utilizing your time. However, I also feel like space is a very rich internal world. So again, maybe someone that's very psychic, very intuitive, someone that again has spiritual gifts in that realm. And so Spirit's saying, well, again, during that time, it's to utilize those gifts in creating more support for yourself. That's how you reparent yourself. Because whenever we have inner child wounds, that's what we have to do. So this person does plan on coming back. It's just that they're not planning on coming back tomorrow. They're doing healing, and that you're just supposed to be doing you right now. So we always ask Spirit as well as, well, now I also have again a little hole in my heart, because now I'm not waiting, but I'm also kind of waiting. So you might say, so what else, what other wisdom can we, pull into this to help us direct our mind a little bit more? What else should we be focusing on to make us into the best version of ourselves? Because in a way, you're healing in separation, And your person is healing in separation. And you didn't even realize that you were healing by creating yourself because, hey, that's a fun way to heal. Where I feel like this person's not like healing in a fun way. But again, that's the soulmate twin flame thing. It's like in separation, there's a lot of healing that's done, and then they come back together, and then they go apart, and then they come back together. And every time they go apart, they do a lot of healing and they evolve. And but the whole time they're learning that unconditional love because they both were taught in environments that they were not taught what unconditional love looked like. There was again expectations and ownership of again what love looked like. There was not a good role model, and again those both parties were not treated with unconditional love in childhood, especially if there was abandonment and there was no support. That's how the child saw it. It doesn't mean that it's true. Parents did the best that they could do. However, again, we look at the child's self. And again, if we didn't feel supported, we weren't creating ourselves. So Spirit's saying, reparent yourself, integrate that spiritual energy. Otherwise, you're going to continue to attract people that can't show up for you again, and you're going to relive that abandonment over and over and over again and be like, I just can't have love. And Spirit says you can have love, but see that you attracted this person into your life to help that, because this person's resisting love, where you're like, again, I'm open to it, I just can't get it. And Spirit says, yeah, neither one of you, right? You give it to yourself. This person needs to like chill out, learn to surrender, but I'm going to make them very uncomfortable so that they surrender, because again, they're going to think that they can control this. They can't, God says, because I am the universe and I always collect my due karmically. And you can't be attached to somebody and then have other relationships and then be connected. You're not being true to yourself, and you're not being true to anyone that you're connected to. There's karmic consequences for that. Be uncomfortable now. Be very uncomfortable. And this is why you never have to look for revenge, because karma always comes. You may say not today, and it may not in front of your face, and it may not today, may not tomorrow, but it eventually comes. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. And so what we ask Spirit, again, what else can we do? Again, and then Spirit says, my divine action indicates love and harmony. I am aware of my thoughts and driven by positive forces. I listen to my heart, my desire to manifest light, transform tests into growth. Tests into growth. And that's what this is for both of you. It's again learning the tests, learning the lessons. And you're only going to do that with the twin flame soulmate. It's like it's showtime. God's saying, the universe saying it's showtime. Let's see who's going to learn, who's going to evolve. It's again transform tests into growth, challenges into opportunities, and fear into love. And there's a whole lot fear with your person. And that's why, again, they're resisting. They were resisting in the beginning, and then they're surrendering, where they're actually thinking about things like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Like, I have feelings for this person. This person's important, but how have I been acting? How should I come in correct? What was I doing? I'm not ready to come back now by any means. So Spirit's saying it's again, in separation, everyone heals. So again, you're still creating yourself. You don't have bad karma. It's again, your karma is good. So again, know that. Give yourself the unconditional love. Fill your cup all the way up so that it overflows, so that when this person comes back, you're giving them the right amount. And they always want more. They'll always want more. It's not that you're ever not giving. It's like this way. It's not codependent, because again, this person is like figuring things out. They said, I need to be strong because I'm going to lose myself again. So part of you is going to have to be that example for this person. And being the example isn't to say, listen, I'm going to tell you how it's going to be, because that shuts down intimacy right away. We never talk about it. We just act it. We command it through our actions. That person is not going to like it. They're going to be like, fuck this bitch. Fuck this asshole. It's like, but then they're like, but then I love this person. I have to do it. It's again, constantly spirit will be like, you're going to get triggered, but learning how to deal with those triggers is also going to be a little bit of a challenge. It's again, and possibly for you as well. But understand then you're looking at, lifestyle practices such as yoga and breath work and stuff like that in order to help you deal with those triggers. Because when you're dealing with the twin flame, they're gonna like press every fucking button that there is. It's again, they're resisting the change. It's like, and then you're like, it's bringing up all your wounds. That's why they say there's a fine line between love and hate. And that's why we surrender and we find our balance in fully integrating our own spiritual wounds. And then we're able to fully create and be the conduit for spirit to work through. And that's what it's all about, so that we can connect on such a deep level and realize that we're all connected through the energy of unconditional love. I want to leave that there. If anyone has any questions, let me know again about the reading, or if they have any questions. Damn, I've already been on that long. It's already an hour. I channeled for an hour. That's crazy. Does anyone have any does anyone have any questions? Yeah, like it's all like, well, that's what it is. It's like you're the creator of your own life. It's like there's many different realities. Thank you, Gloria. Can twin flame of a soulmate? Oh yeah, that's that Elmira. All twin flames, all soulmates are karmic, and a soulmate could be here for a day, here for a season, here for a lifetime. They just are always teaching, and that's what karma means. We associate karma with bad because a lot of times we didn't learn the spiritual lesson. But really, karma isn't good or bad from a spiritual perspective. It just means learn. That's why it says what you sow is what you reap, right? So it's again, you plant corn, you get in corn. So a lot of times, again, in our relationships, we aren't conscious of our blocks, or sometimes we are conscious of our blocks. And so we're acting from a place of fear, and those manifestations come out within our relationship. And that's how we sabotage the relationship. Or again, a person can also redeem themselves, and that's how they evolve and helps you evolve, because you might have trouble with forgiveness. You might have problems with being vulnerable, having compassion. Again, that's what it's about. It's about raising to the highest state of consciousness, which is unconditional love, which is again all the highest vibrations of consciousness, right? So people that are in a low vibration, they're always angry, they're resentful, which again, how did your reading start? The reading started off with resentful. The person's resentful because they're making them change. Really, that's what it is. So I think yours is going to be a long, well, that's what it is. Twin flame relationships are lifetime relationships a lot of times, but they go into separation where it's like, it could be like we've been together, like connected for 20 years, but out of those 20 years, you might have only had like 2 years together. Sometimes it's like, again, long periods apart, time together, long periods apart, because it's really helping you, and that's to heal. And we don't do that. Right. I mean, when it's a separation like that, it again brings up abandonment. It brings up all these things that you feel about yourself when really you're the universe. So you should be abundant. And so when we're feeling like, well, everything is hurting, and it's, well, what is it hurting? It's what is it making you feel? You should be doing work that, like, again, this person should be making you feel that. And then if you're actually doing the work, you going out and integrating it, then you don't hurt as much. So again, if this person is making you feel abandoned, making you feel not good enough, not worthy, like again, making you feel a certain way, is to go out and work on yourself. And that's by connecting to other people, and which I feel like you do. I mean, even here, you're here, and it's again, it's helping you. It's still helping you. It's like it's not a, if it didn't hurt, you wouldn't look, right? If it wasn't someone of significance. The thing with the twin flame soulmate is that even though one person tends to act like they don't give a shit, they do. They do. The lesson is that again, you can't control love. What is the spiritual meaning behind losing all your relationships at once? Where my life turned upside down in the last few years. It's so crazy, Mac, but I noticed that I lost a lot of friends this year too. And what I see it is that it means that you're evolving into a higher state of consciousness, or about to. And that when your life is turned upside down, it's like kind of like spirit saying, okay, it's time that we, change the way that we're living. It's time that you look at yourself. And that's always a place where you should start, by looking at yourself and saying, why why was my life turned upside down? How did I contribute to these undesirable life experiences? And it could just be, I was overgiving. I was nice. I gave too much time. I didn't see the red flags. I was too close up to the picture, which would mean that you didn't invest enough in yourself. Because a lot of times when we feel like, well, I was the victim, where I didn't do anything, I was just a giver, was Spirit saying. There were signs you didn't see it if you were too close up to the picture and you weren't living in accordance to spiritual law, which is you first. And that's by creating yourself first. So a lot of times looking for that love and the nurturing from people that really aren't deserving. And that could be because they perceive you to be a certain way, is what I feel. And then, but it doesn't really matter, Mac, because again, those things aren't true. And so when people leave your life and they drop out of your life, it's always about, there's empty space now. And that empty space is to create, to say, who am I today? Where do I want to go? What do I want to do? What inspires me? What stirs my soul up? Because really, you're an expression of unconditional love. You're here to be an expression of unconditional love. And if we feel like, well, I'm so wounded, I can't, it's to become the vibration of unconditional love by doing what you love. That'll help you connect to people on a deep, intimate level. And that will help you, again, transform those spiritual wounds, transmute them into unconditional love by helping you connect on a deep level, by again also raising your vibration about how you feel about yourself, because other people shouldn't be able to define like how you feel about yourself. That says more about them. How they made you feel says more about you. And so that's how we integrate. Thank you, Myra. You're so generous. Thank you so much for that super chat. Um, so that's really what it is. It's like, it's not easy. What it is it's really hard. It's hard, but it's again, it doesn't mean what you would perceive like, well, I'm fucked up. My life is so fucked up. And that's why it's the way that it is. No, that's the devil talking. Again, that's a state of consciousness that's a lower state of consciousness. It's to say, I must be evolving. Again, and when you evolve, the people are on a lower vibrational consciousness. They can't raise their vibration. They have trouble raising their vibration. So their way is to try and pull you down. It's again, and when people finally leave your life, well, they are not benefiting from you anymore. They're not getting anything from you anymore. And then you actually see what the relationship was about, and that it was imbalanced. And that again had to be imbalanced because again, you're affected so much by it. And so healing is not just about doing like the shadow work. Anytime love to her. Oh, it's okay. Like, I mean, I'm so sorry that uh that happened, to you. But it's like, again, you learn, you move forward, you work on yourself, you raise your vibration, and when you do, you attract money into your life. Because again, money has no energy except for the energy that you give it. And money is always coming and going and is fluid, but also giving away everything. And that's what Spirit said, giving it all away and not to yourself. So you learn, and you learn how to balance yourself so that you don't overgive to anybody, and you forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. It's like, that's how we learn. Thank you, Gloria. Thank you so much for that super chat. You guys are awesome. Showing me that I'm on my right path. I mean, you guys are helping me. See, that's what it's all about. It's about, you know, healing and growing, and it's 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 not an easy path. It's not. It's like life isn't easy, but you connect with other like-minded people, and you invest in yourself, and you connect with other people, like, again, through that act of doing what you love. And I promise you, your life will again become different, because then you live in your bliss. You're not living from the logical, analytical mind, which is again the survival mind, but you're living from your bliss. And then you know how much to give, because you're not giving from your cup expecting to get replenished from anyone. You're giving unconditionally. Like, I have so much to give because my cup is full, that I just give what falls out of that cup. And you know what? That makes the person that you're connected to desire you more, because they're like, how come they're not desiring me? It's like you may say, I am desiring you, but my focus isn't on you all the time. I cut my psychic energy off, and I'm not as, I don't care as much about your needs. And that's really what it's about. It's about forgiving yourself, loving yourself, always integrating the spiritual lesson. I understand, again, if it's everything's growing you. Right. And you're not, definitely not alone. Everybody that comes to this channel has been in relationships that have hurt them, that have made them feel not good enough, not lovable. Sometimes it's intentional because the person's so angry, and that those are the really hard ones to forgive. And then there's ones that the person didn't, just weren't healed. And so again, they got in their own way. They fear, they don't believe that they can have love. They base who they are on all their past relationships. The key is to recognize these wounds and never take them on themselves. Never take them on yourself. That's the key. And you can't do that unless your life is full of other experiences, and you're connected to a lot of other people that give you love. And I'm glad that this channel is a place that is, again, a source of support, because when we're wounded, that's what we need. We need support. We need to understand, why did this happen? What am I supposed to learn out of it? And how can I make sure that it's not going to happen again? It's like, and how can I really experience what I want to experience? And you can. But it's to understand, again, that the psychological and the emotional realm is the spiritual realm. And that's how you integrate the spiritual lesson, by understanding, again, why you did certain things. Because again, you're only in physical form to learn and to manifest. Thank you, everyone. And thank you guys for super chatting me. I really appreciate that. Oh, Myra, you're just the best, like all the time. And Gloria, too. I want to thank everybody for, supporting the channel, just watching and giving me feedback. I so appreciate you guys and love you guys. But I'm going to wind it down, because I actually have to do a Virgo video for tonight before I go to bed, and I haven't done one yet. I love you guys. You guys are the best. All right. Good night, guys. Good night, Elmira.